Soul Garden.
Good morning, I'm Lovecasting live in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Wednesday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is Witeckii. I am a psychic astrologer and I call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy. I consider my job on earth to stand in my heart and walk in the light. Thank you so much for joining me in my little web series here. How you doing? We are blazing through the sun in Leo, and I have myself been experiencing a lot of spiritual miracles, I have to say. Some real concrete communication with the other side, and it's been delightful, and I've been learning along the way. So I hope you're doing well. We're in a number of interesting transits, if you don't know. The sun is in Leo, folks, so we are all our hearts upgrading, and we're about halfway through that story. This upgrade has to do with a Venus retrograde, so that means our upgrade of our heart is where our heart once was, or maybe once witnessed, and so we're returning to that place in our heart. At the same time, Jupiter has now moved into Virgo, so we're creating a new reality. Jupiter is starting to oppose Neptune, so we're going to have a little bit of an argument with reality for some time, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, in a nutshell, it's time to stand in your heart. It is definitely time to stand in your heart. It is time to march toward the light. If you want to know what the light is, if your heart lights up, that's what the light is. All right? So we are heading toward the light, and I think a lot of us have been working on this for a long time here on Earth, where we've been trying to heal ourselves and wake up and come into our full awareness. And I must say, I'm feeling very good. Things are seeming very crisp, and Spirit is definitely saying hello on Earth right now. So, without further ado, let's let Spirit say hello and look at the planets and check in with my guides. Okay. I gotcha. So going in, it's kind of funny because it's kind of one way or the other. It's like either I'm logic brain and I'm looking at the planets with, my logic, or I'm listening, right? So when I'm in listening mode, they were like, look at Mars. Well, I hadn't even thought about where Mars was, so I was like looking around, looking like, where's Mars? Where's Mars? Well, Mars is at step 2 today, step 2 Leo, which means today will be a very emotional day, and during the course of today, the moon will be crossing over Mars. So what that means in a very simple way is that emotions are going to continue to rise in volume and intensity through the day, and that's us approaching Mars. Now, many of us, including myself, are purging some anger. I've had a lot of anger come up. Now, I have a Leo rising, so Mars is hitting me a bit harder than most. If you're an Aquarius or have an Aquarius rising, or you're a Leo, you could be dealing with a lot of anger right now. But that anger is really the old ego that's fighting to stay alive. Well, with the moon crossing over Mars, which is our ego, and Mars in early Leo, I believe, and this is what they're showing me, it's like Mars is actually killing off the old ego for the last time. So it's almost like our new ego is in battle with our old ego, and today emotionally we might experience that because the moon crosses over. So what you want to do is surrender to the new ego and, very quietly put the old ego down. Like, sorry, old girl, it's time for you to die. You know what I mean? Like, see you on the other side. And the ego's like, what? You betrayed me. We were going to be the best. We were going to be number one. We were going to be last. Shut up. You know what I mean? And that's what I call the dumbass. The dumbass is our ego. So we're all, Mars in Leo means that our ego energy, Mars, which is the center of our energy, is the center of our action is, the center of our action is now moved to Leo, which means all of our action now moves to what the heart desires. And that's what we've been working on for so long, is what the heart desires, what our heart wants to surrender to. So in a way, Daddy's come home, which is Mars, and Daddy is going to kick some butt skis, a Polish version of ass. So the sun today is at step 19, and that's where my eyes go next. And what's the 9 and 19? Mars. Okay, so step 19 is I love and I act I am. So when we love and act on it, we manifest. It adds to a 10. That's how the step astrology works. So when you love and you act on it, it manifests. And that's why somebody who is spiritually, unevolved or unaware can be a person who simply loves it and acts on it, and God gives it to them. because it's built into the matrix and the formula. So today, love and act on this. And remember, Mars and the Moon are working together. So we're wanting to take action with the new I am. And for me and for many, that I am is based on the heart. So the new heartfelt, ego versus the other ego that might have abandoned the heart in the past or have been worried or have been picking fights on behalf of the heart. But it's very much a new ego because Mars is in Leo and we're doing all this past life Leo work. So I happen to have a Leo rising, so for me it's like double whammo, yes. But because it's Mars, ego in Leo, and that's what we're doing with the retrograde, I think everyone is a royal crystal Witeckii right now. Sorry, that's actually a curse, but you'll enjoy it after a while. Just sit back. No, I was kidding. But it is in that way. We're all, we're all putting on a royal face. They're being stern with me. I'm being too silly in class, they say. Mercury is at step 8 Virgo. Oh yes, and I see why. Maybe I was just feeling what they wanted to talk about next, because Mercury in Virgo is very and that means that we're going to be very, very picky, okay, about everything. Our mind is super picky about everything. And I think, every time I go into the Virgo energy, which is what we're about to go into here, you just kind of have to let yourself go into a head spin and not focus on any one detail, because it's just overwhelming the choices and just the you're just it's like you've eaten too much on Thanksgiving and wine and cheesecake and then another course. That's Virgo, and the only way through that, in my experience, is you just kind of let yourself sit back and you want to pay attention to the details that matter. So Mercury is in Virgo, so our mind, the smartass in all of us, can get hung up on details. And again, I think the better approach to using the mind here is for the mind to pick out the gems of your consciousness, the gem possibilities, identify the needles in the haystack, identify the gems, but not try to sit there and summarize will you look at everything God's sending me? It's a pile of, you know what I mean? No, and that's what Virgos want to do. They want to add it all up, and it's impossible, because as soon as they pull back, they see 10,000 billion more details they didn't see before. It's never ending. So the point is that they're showing me Black Lilith again, and Saturn at 28. So this, we are creating the edge of reality right now is what they're showing me. It's we're creating the edge, the definition of reality. Jupiter at step 0 means that God is watering the creation of a new reality. Step 0 is the very first step in the 11 steps of serious joy. It's the secret step, the one that never gets counted. Sound like a Scorpio? You know what I mean? But it is step 0. And this means that we are literally putting up our new walls to support our new reality. I had spoken to this in the last couple of days, but a lot of our walls are simply based on keeping the dark out. This is where I talked about the dark does define the light, and so a lot of these walls are based on that. But in some cases, we rise above the whole scenario to begin with. You don't even, if putting up a wall to something is actually being halfway through the journey. Ascending above it and letting it go for real is when you're done with the journey. So if you have to maintain walls, I'm not saying we don't protect ourselves, we do, but it's kind of when you reach a more proficient level, you go, not only I protected, I'm rising 500 feet above that. You know what I mean? It's yeah, down there, the stairwell, where I get on, my little airport terminal, sure, that's well protected with guards, but I'm not even letting that get to me. I'm flying above it. So we're laying down our protection. We're preparing for our new reality, basically. And Black Lilith is way up at step 28, which means that, our fears are creating at least the default shape of what our new reality is. But I think what they're trying to say, and have me pass it on, is that that shape based on fear, again, is based on fear. So if you really want to ascend, even though the fears come there and the fears define what you're not, really, you are not, when you really have ascended above it, it's when you accept you are both. When you are this and you are not this at the same time, and that's when you can rise above the situation. And that's when you come full circle. So if those people come full circle, starting to see the scenery again, oh, I've been here before, I've seen this. This is where she cheats on me with the neighbor. It's yep, here we are again. It's okay, well, how do we rise above this? So it's okay, I am the cheater and the cheated on. I mean, in some regards, that's kind of what it is, or something like that, and that's how you will rise above it. They are bringing me to Chiron. Ah, yes, Chiron at step 20. Well, I guess it's because of the cheater jokes. Step 20 means, there is some forgiving and some forgetting going on. We're doing some releasing. Both Chiron and Neptune are retrograde. So this means that we are technically going back and giving ourselves credit for past sins. That's actually the word that just came, but that's, you know, people who feel they've sinned and who judge themselves. So part of that is going back and giving ourselves new credit. Some of it's us going back and deciding that we, you know, I don't think I was so guilty, or, you know, it turns out that he was an alcoholic too. You know, it's like, so you kind of like judge yourself differently, or really, you know, what they're showing me is like, yeah, they're like, it's like we don't judge ourselves. You know, like it's that we don't judge, and they're showing me the ascend thing again. It's like, yes, so we said, you know, just so judgment is, you know, judgment is tied. I'm just being shown. It's like it is true. It's like judgment is tied to our fears. You know, we judge it as this, we judge ourselves as that. And the judgment holds up the fear holds up the mold of reality, and we think reality is that shape. But that's all a process of the architecture of incarnation and what you have manifested so far. And with Jupiter in Virgo, everyone can completely rebuild their reality right now. For the next year, you can rebuild it. You can live up in the sky like Disneyland kind of style if you rebuild it. I mean, that is the cool thing about Virgo. Things get very productive. Things get done. So their advice, and passed on to you, is with this energy retrograde in Pisces, this allows you to forgive and forget, forgive and forget, forgive and forget, forgive and forget. It allows you to like come full circle, see both sides of it. And when you come full circle, see both sides, you can rise above it, you can ascend past it, and you can still be protected, but it doesn't weigh you down. All right. Keep a mind on your heart is basically the last message. Keep a look on that child. Keep a look on that child. Let that child come forward. We are only at step 19 of Leo, which means that we're basically now moving full forward with what our heart wants. Venus is retrograde for some time, and we're going to continue down this journey. And, you know, it's very easy to get lost in Leo because we love everything, okay? So it's really about picking your favorites and stay in that path of favorites in the moment, and using your heart and favorites to choose the subtleties of two tiny choices. Because the smallest choice will probably end up in profound change. That's been my experience as Sensei to Serious Joy. All right, my friends, that's all I have. I am here for you at your soul service. It's a pleasure to be here for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the comments. And remember to come down to my website if you'd like and read my blog. I expand in different and deeper ways, and also give the 12 signs kind of broken down each day. I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Until then, remember, I love you, and live love be.
So